You gonna start the podcast off like that? You already start the Twitch stream off like that. Come on, give me something different. Give me something different.
Yo, friends, welcome back to the Nerd Guys podcast.
Yeah. What up, nerds?
What up, nerds? Where my nerds at?
Yup. Hey, merch idea. Hitting that. We need a Where My Nerds At shirt and a What Up Nerd shirt.
Yo, I'm here for it. Alright, so let's get into introductions. It's your boy.
Nimblewin.
Okay, sure.
And your nerd.
It's your boy Nimble. Wait, wrong. Oh God.
How'd you fudge that up?
It's your boy Jamie Shadow 9, YouTube, future YouTube sensation. Future.
I forgot you go by Jamie Shadow 9.
Yes, that's why you
messed
me up.
I fudged up.
Future VTuber sensation. But you might also wonder why it's called the Nimble Shadow Clan and why he might get it confused. Is because my username on certain platforms is Nimblewin, because Jamie Shadow 9 is taken on, so yay, fun.
And it's me, your boy. Who do I want to be this episode? No, I'll be Kitsune. I'm gonna be Kitsune. I'm gonna stay Kitsune.
Please be Kitsune. I mean, you have to advertise that since the
I
last
know.
What has transpired to our listeners?
Okay, so for everyone listening to the podcast, this is episode 4?
Yep.
Yeah. So, between episode 3 and episode 4, I started actually using my Twitch channel. So, my Twitch channel is now Kitsune Sai.
So, twitch.tv/Kitsune Sai.
Yeah. I've been playing Hogwarts Legacy, streaming it off my PlayStation. There is no voice commentary, but if you like that type of content, I make the content that I like, and I like going in and just watching gameplay. You know, to me that's more fun.
Yeah.
And it's great for background.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been up to lately. I've also been up to getting into more graphic design. I can't draw to save my life, but I can put pictures together, ironically enough. And I've been having fun coming up with some new ideas for the Nimble Shadow Clan, as well as the Nerd Guys, and, you know, Underground 335 and Kitsune Sai, the gaming channel. So, I've been keeping myself very occupied. So, got a good one for y'all today.
What we got?
Today, we'll be taking a trip to Pallet Town. Or at least, the Hoenn region. Or maybe, Johto, Kanto, Sinnoh, Great Sinnoh, Hisui.
You know that?
Oh, I didn't forget. Alola?
Kalos.
Alola. Oh, I was just saying hi because that's how they greet each other. Today we'll be taking a trip into the wonderful world of Pokemon. And we're going to do something a little bit different this time.
So we have decided to fix the structure of the show and start with going into the history of what we're talking about. For those who might be unfamiliar with what we're talking about and may be interested in getting themselves familiar with.
So, with that, I'm going to take it away. We're going to get a little bit of a history lesson.
Should I read it or do you?
No, I'm going to read it.
Okay.
So, all of our research that was done between, I do believe, Bulbapedia and, gotta look at my sites here, IMDb.
So shout out and thank you to IMDb and Wikipedia.
Yes. So, Pokemon. It's the brainchild of Satoshi Tajiri. Sorry, I don't want to butcher anybody's name. But Satoshi loved going around catching insects and tadpoles near his home in Tokyo, suburban Tokyo. So as a kid, he was just running around catching insects and frogs, basically. And he wanted to take his love for that and share it with the world. Over the years, he never knew how to do it. It was just one of those, oh man, it would be fun if people could do this and get the same type of joy that I did. And then I know, I'm sorry, I'm getting nervous. But
I'll read it up.
no, I got it. I got it. I started, I'm finished. Mr. Satoshi decided he was going to put his idea of catching creatures into practice. He was going to give children the same type of thrills that he had as a child. That's where he came up with the idea for the games. We all know them and we all love them. Pokemon. Originally, red and green versions.
Now it's funny for anyone that lives here in the States. You might go, wait, green? Yes. The
Yep.
original versions of Pokemon are actually red and green and not red and blue.
I feel like there was an RGB theme going on. But,
I mean, if you look at the three starters.
yeah, exactly. But yes, the first Pokemon games were Pokemon Red and Green versions. They released in Japan only, which I didn't know. Because, you know, whenever something new starts here, it's like, oh man, we got it first. And this is pre-internet.
Yeah.
Well, internet as we know it at least. And the game released in Japan February 27th, 1996. I was still baking. So
I was 2.
keep forgetting you're 2 years old, man. But yes, I wasn't even a baby. I was a fetus. Still had like 2 more months to go. But in 96, February of 96, the game launched. It was crazy because it was kind of a revolutionary game.
Yeah.
It allowed people of all ages, really people who had the money to buy a Game Boy at the time, to catch, train, and trade over 151 creatures. And most of all, they could become Pokemon Masters. We gotta delve into what that means a little bit more.
So, how to become a Pokemon Master? How do you become a Pokemon Master? Well, it starts off with if you're a trainer, let's say that this is all, we are all, we can all become Pokemon trainers.
We would suck because we're not 10.
Yeah, we would suck. But at the age of 10, you get chosen. Well, you don't get chosen. You choose to decide. I can't speak. You decide to go out and want to catch a Pokemon. So you can catch any Pokemon. You can catch a Weedle, and that's your Pokemon. But to become a Pokemon Master, you have to challenge gyms. These gyms have very, very powerful trainers, and the gym leader is also a powerful trainer. If you manage to defeat the gym leader, you get yourself a gym badge. You need to collect 8 gym badges in order to challenge the Elite Four, which are 4 elite trainers, and then the champion of the region. Once you're able to defeat all of them, you can become a Pokemon Master.
What I never agree with it is that you go through all the work, you challenge the Elite Four, you beat the champion.
Yep.
It makes you a master.
Yep.
But shouldn't it only make you a master in that region?
That's true. It's very true. Which is something I want to bring up when it comes to the anime. If anyone is familiar with the Pokemon anime, when we were kids, Ash's whole dream was to become Pokemon Master. But it didn't happen when we were kids. It didn't happen in Johto, Sinnoh, Kanto. None of these regions did it happen.
It definitely didn't happen there.
It only happened, what was that, 2 years ago? A year ago?
That was earlier this year.
Was it earlier this year?
Yeah.
Might have been. Where, finally, after all this time, Ash defeated the Galar Championship and became a Pokemon Master.
Galar reached a bunch of
And I love that there were so many people online that were like, oh my god, finally. And I was like,
You do realize the writers could have written it at any point in time.
Ash was the closest he was the first time around, like in any of these regions, as he said. He got right up to Cynthia, but lost to someone else, but once Cynthia. But he beat Big Bertha, with his Torterra's Rock Climb. Rock Climb! It's not even a super effective move.
The funny thing is, and before you all say, no, we do not believe Ash is the best trainer. He's far from it. Yes. They probably made him really bad to make him relatable.
True. But I think it's something that I've heard in the Japanese version, he comes across way better.
Yeah.
And, and of course that's a testament to how Japanese and like American things are done. But what's interesting to me is that they had the idea to change Ash's character. We saw it in Diamond and Pearl. He was rapidly changing his personality, like he was growing up.
He was more serious.
Yeah.
And by the time he met who we know as the Dragon Gym leader from Black and White?
Iris?
X and Y? Yes, Iris.
Oh.
By the time he met her, he was serious about battling. I know, I'm saying by the time he got to her, he was super serious about battling. Like, he actually trained to win. He didn't train to try to beat low-level people. He was training to beat the gym leaders and coming up with moves and combination moves by that point, right?
I was gonna say, because like in Diamond Pro, you can see him training like his Weasel to use Ice Punch.
Yes.
And like, you might go like, oh, well that should be easy. Like a Weasel or a Floatzel should just be able to use Ice Punch or Ice Bang. But if you think about it, the way that Ash trained his Weasel, it's like you said, he got serious about how he trained his Pokemon, what moves that they use. And I think it's also in part of the fact that we had Dawn in that series.
Yeah.
Because even though she was more like the contest star, she was the contest version of Ash, but was way more serious about it.
And was way more serious than May.
And was way more competent in how she went about her presentation and what she decided to do.
Yeah, and it's all because her mom was a previous contest champion.
So, I feel like the main reason that they wanted to keep Ash is because, not only, because we got Pikachu. Pikachu is the mascot, but like they wanted to have the character that was with Pikachu to continue being on the show, as basically milking it as long as they could.
I'm sorry, unpopular opinion. I'm so damn tired of Pikachu. Pikachu was cool for a bit, but now, like, mans didn't even want to be a Raichu. Ash could have put Pikachu with Oak a long time ago and got a different starter, and it would have been probably another 10-15 years at least. Like, I get it, we all love Pikachu, but there's a certain point where you're like, Pikachu was level 100 a long time ago.
Well, not only that, but like, Pokemon has often made other Pokemon that could be the mascots. Minccino, +1 Minun,
Trico definitely was a strong contender because, like,
Totodile.
Totodile was also a strong contender because he was Fuecoco before Fuecoco.
No thoughts, just cuteness, energy.
Yep. This makes me want to go back and play. What was it, Gen 2?
Yes, let's do that.
Alright, so, I know we were talking about the cartoon. So, fun fact. And this is going to be for everybody out in YouTube land and Twitchverse, because you're sitting here looking at it. Do you know when the cartoon first premiered?
Oh, me?
Yes.
Oh.
Well, I'm asking them, so before you say the answer, because you're looking at it, I want you all in the Twitchverse.
Don't look it up.
Don't look it up. And in the YouTube universe, drop it in comments.
Yeah.
Drop it in chat. When did Pokemon first premiere?
Give you like a couple seconds.
Okay, spoiler alert, Mr. Jamie.
So it premiered in Japan on April 1st, 1997. And
Just 13 days before my birthday.
it's true.
I feel special.
It's true. Yeah. And the US on September 8th, 1997.
You know, I think that's interesting because with the state of anime now, we get. I'll just use one that I know, like MF Ghost. The manga's been out for probably about a year and a half, and I'm waiting for it to be translated to English. Somebody out there is going to be like, oh, you can read it here online. I'm not talking about online. I'm talking about physical books. I like physical books. But the cartoon came out last year, and now this year we're waiting the English dub. No, I'm sorry, not the dub.
Yeah.
So I don't know. To me, it just feels like a different world because in '97 it premiered in Japan, so it was full on anime. And then it premiered a couple months later in English.
And it became a cartoon.
Because it was popular.
Wait, and you know what's even funnier about that? Inuyasha. Inuyasha
That's fine.
was called an anime back then.
Yeah.
But Pokemon was a cartoon. Dragon Ball was also considered an anime.
Yep.
Not a cartoon. So I think it's kind of funny how things were classified back then.
You know what I think it was? Inuyasha and Dragon Ball were both violent. Pokemon, for the most part, had more comedic moments and less beat 'em up bloody type of moments.
I see, yeah.
'Cause at least me, I know growing up, I was introduced to anime like before I even knew the difference between art styles. So I was like 3 or 4, and I remember my brother owned the anime movie Ninja Scroll.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was rated R, and I watched this. My mom didn't know it was rated R. So you could understand my surprise when I see a demon lord sucking on titties. I'm sorry, breasts. Demon lord sucking on breasts. As you can hear, it's etched in my head. But I classified it as anime because of a specific art style. But it was violent as well.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. I feel like that's more why anime was anime and cartoons were cartoons. Cartoons were kind of geared toward children.
True.
Like their target audience. And anime was more of like a broad term, like cartoon for adults. Because this is before Adult Swim.
It's true. But what I find interesting about that is I think maybe when we did get Diamond and Pearl, people started calling Pokemon anime.
Yeah.
And this is before the age of like distinguishing anime versus cartoons. It was still in the age of people thinking that they were the same thing.
I mean, technically, they're all cartoons.
Yeah.
But we're just from 2 different places.
Right. But what I mean by that is, you know, people kept feeling like, oh man, well, it's the Pokemon cartoon. It's the, you know, or I remember someone saying to me, oh, you remember when Pokemon used to be a cartoon and not an anime? And I was like, wait, what? What? That makes no sense.
Pull out the Russell Westbrook. What?
Yeah. It just didn't make any sense to me because I was like, Pokemon's always been an anime. It's just that we always called it a cartoon because that's what we grew up with.
Yeah. And it's crazy to think because according to Google University, literally the term anime is slang for animation, which is animation, which is cartoon here in America. Literally, stuff that is animated we call cartoons. And it's probably just due to marketing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we call animation over here, but we also call them cartoons. And it's weird because, like, again, according to Google University, a cartoon is a simple drawing showing the features of its subject in a humorously exaggerated way, especially a satirical one in a newspaper or magazine. So I guess when you think cartoon, you think comic strip.
Yeah.
Like for a lot of the older generation. But when they started making moving pictures, it's like, hey, they took a comic strip and made it move. Oh, it's still a cartoon. I'm sitting here learning something because I never knew that cartoons were like strictly for newspapers and magazines at first, because I grew up hearing the word cartoon.
Yeah, so that's why I say, like, even though anime and cartoons are very similar to each other, they are actually different, not only in origin, but just in style. Which is why I bring up the fact that, like, how funny it was for Pokemon to be considered a cartoon back then, and then immediately, maybe some years after that, people were like, "Oh, it's Pokemon anime."
Yeah.
So that's what I find very interesting.
Sorry, everyone. Leo wants to be a part of the podcast right now. He came for some love.
He came to be the special guest Pokemon.
He came to be the special guest Pokemon, Leo the Shinx.
Yeah. Yeah, he actually does look like a Shinx.
Because he's not going to be no freaking Pyro. I scoff.
Oh my goodness. Alright. Since we're talking about that, let's talk about our favorite Pokemon.
Alright. So, I have a long list. I don't just have one. I have 3.
Alright, wait. I'll make this interesting. If we lived in the Pokemon world, which Pokemon would you go out to catch first?
I definitely would go to the professor's office.
And which Pokemon would you choose? If you could choose any of the starters, which starter would you choose?
That's so hard. It's so hard because my top 3. Alright. I love all the starters. Most of the starters. I love most of the starters.
Yeah.
But there are some that I like more than others. Like, I really like Cyndaquil. I like Charmander before liking Charmander was meta.
Yeah. Wait. It's the same meme, if anyone knows, as I like Mudkips before they were cool, because, you know, there's a I like Mudkips meme.
I didn't even know that.
Yep.
Which is weird because it would literally be any of the Gen 3 starters. Because, don't get me wrong, I love Cyndaquil and Totodile.
Yeah.
I love Charmander.
Yeah.
I like Bulbasaur. I like Squirtle. But, and this, for me, it's more of like a cosmetic thing than anything. I'm not a super huge fan of Blastoise. Like, Blastoise looks kind of cool, but his design seems impractical. Like, he would be a tank in a wall.
Yeah.
Charizard, I like Charizard, but Charizard's not a dragon.
And fun fact for all of you is, if you don't know this about Charizard, is is that Charizard and
Sorry. If you don't already know this about Charizard, because there's gonna be somebody that's like, oh, bro, Charizard is the best because, and we're not knocking you.
Charizard was originally supposed to be Dragon type. Also along those lines was Gyarados, but since the first generation did not have many Dragon type moves except for Twister, I believe, Twister and Dragon Rage maybe, and those are both low-powered Dragon type moves, they decided to not have Charizard and Gyarados be Dragon types.
You know how cool it would have been if Gyarados and Charizard were able to fight Dragonite? That would have been such an epic battle, and it was a missed opportunity, because it's like, who's the best Dragon type?
Now, it's funny, they kind of retconned that when we got to Mega Evolution, where they had Charizard, Mega Charizard X and Mega Charizard Y.
I'm sorry, at that point, Sceptile's the best Dragon type.
Mega Charizard X is our Fire Dragon type, the one that everybody loves, and it's also Black Charizard for all of those people who love Black Charizard.
But Sceptile is the best Dragon type, next to Flygon.
And hey,
And
Mega
Leo's
Charizard,
the best Dragon type.
Mega Charizard Y, what are you talking about? Is its original type, Fire and Flying.
Oh wow, that's why everybody likes the black one so much. I didn't know there was a difference.
Yep.
But that was a cool fun fact. Like, to get back to the answer to your question, I'll do it in a ranking. This is my order. If we lived in the world of Pokemon, and I did this journey multiple times, I would choose Mudkip first, then I would choose Trico, then I would choose Torchic. That's how my favorite Pokemon would go.
So for me, if I lived in the I go out and at night and find an
No, you don't find an Umbreon. Find an Eevee.
No, you can't. It's actually possible to find Umbreon in Pokemon World.
I know, but you find an Eevee and you train it.
But I would love to find an Umbreon.
Wow.
Only because, and here's the thing, I'm a Gen 2 baby. I grew up with playing Pokemon Crystal. And some of my favorite Pokemon are they debuted in Crystal. One of them being Umbreon.
Yep.
I've always loved Umbreon as a kid. The dark typing has always been one of my favorite types in Pokemon. And to me, I just thought it was so cool. I was like, man, I really like this Pokemon. So that would be my first Pokemon that I would choose.
That's interesting.
Some of my other favorites are Mudkip. I love Mudkip.
I changed my mind since we said any Pokemon, but go ahead.
And Jinx. Because another favorite type of mine is electric. And growing up, it's not like I didn't like Magnemite or Great or any of those. But
Magnemite wasn't cool. I'm sorry, both of them weren't cool until they got their final evolutions. In my opinion.
And Ampharos got cooler when it got a Mega Evolution and turned into a
Yep. I actually didn't expect you to say Umbreon. I expected you to say Absol.
Oh.
I made it harder, didn't I?
Oh yeah. So okay, sorry. Had to. So yes, I still would choose Umbreon as my first Pokemon, but I think
We should separate starters from favorite Pokemon. So if you had to start what Pokemon are you choosing to start with? Umbreon. Okay.
That's always been like just my go-to answer because I love Umbreon that much.
Cool.
But I think because in Pokemon World you can have like your partner Pokemon, but they don't have like they can battle. They don't really have to. The Pokemon that I would always use in battle and I would catch Absol. 100%. I would get myself the Mega Ring to Mega Evolve it because
You don't want Z moves?
no. We're gonna talk about favorite gimmicks in Pokemon and least favorite. Z-moves isn't like I'll have to. We'll get to
we'll
it.
get there.
We'll
We'll get there.
But anyway, I love Mega Absol. 1 for Magic Bounce. 2 because it looks cool as hell. And 3 its shiny form is godly.
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 It's giving God energy.
It's giving biker energy.
It's giving biker energy.
Oh man, I remember when Generation 6 came out and they were like, we're introducing a new form of evolution, and everybody hated it. Everybody was like, oh my god, I can't believe it. It's like Digimon now. And I was like,
No, not
wait,
at
wait,
all.
wait. And I was like, wait, what's the problem with it being closer to Digimon? Why wouldn't you want the Pokemon to evolve more?
Great franchise episode coming soon.
Like, I just didn't understand. I was like, huh? And then when everybody got their Mega Charizard X's, then no one complained anymore.
Yep. And they're Mega Skeptiles.
Well, Mega Skeptile, I was fine with.
And Mega Blaziken. And Mega Swampert.
Mega Swampert. Mega Swampert is a giant tank. Fight me.
Yep.
But Mega Evolution to me, I feel like should come back in some sort of capacity, either being an evolution for certain Pokemon, because like Mega Absol being locked behind Mega Evolution, the only games that you're getting it in are probably Pokemon Go and Pokemon Unite if it becomes a Pokemon in Pokemon Unite.
So, to change my answer,
Go ahead.
my first starter, I would want it to be one of the Hoenn trio starters.
Right.
So, Mudkip first, then Trico, then Torchic. It's not because I like them any more or any less. It's really hard.
Yeah.
But if I could go out and just get any starter, like any Pokemon to start,
Yeah.
Bagon.
Yeah.
Bagon would be my Pokemon. Like, you remember when we started playing Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, I was like, oh, we can get a Bagon? Oh man, you're like, well, why don't you just trade one in? I'm like, no, it's not the same. I gotta go catch one. I wanted to be in my party from the start. That's a great segue. I wish Pokemon Company and Game Freak would make a Pokemon game, not Mystery Dungeon. I just want to disclaim that. Not Mystery Dungeon. Nothing against Mystery Dungeon. I really like the franchise. I buy every game. I wish they would make a Pokemon game where you could start with any Pokemon instead of locking it to just 3.
Yeah.
And they probably have their reasons. But, like, if I could start with a Bagon or a Trapinch or a Shinx.
I think the closest that we've gotten to that is Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, where we start off with Eevee.
Yeah.
Because...
But we start off Let's Go Eevee with Eevee.
There's a difference.
One can evolve?
Yes. In Gale of Darkness, you get the option to choose between, well, at the time it was the 5 evolutions of Eevee, so...
Yeah.
If you wanted to go through with, Vaporeon, you could do that.
I chose Vaporeon as the best type at the time.
And it makes it either harder or easier for you. And not to mention, you can also use other of the other shadow Pokemon that you caught.
Breloom, really good shadow Pokemon.
Oh man, I do also wish. And this is something I'm hoping that Pokemon Company will do. Is one, give Pokemon at least 2 years to breathe.
Yeah.
We will stop having problems like what we have with Scarlet and Violet, where people are constantly complaining about the presentation, how the game plays, and all that. We will stop all of that dead in its tracks.
Not gonna lie, the best part about getting a new Pokemon game is probably the box art and the concept art.
Yeah.
Because the game itself usually looks okay.
If we want to take Pokemon to the next level, because that's what we've been doing, right? We went from 2D over, top-down perspective, sprites to models.
I still would like some 2D games to be in the rotation.
Right. And same with me.
Because I actually like I like that look. It's cool.
That's why I like that we have other games like, Pokemon Cafe Remix, because it's like, even if I don't play it, it's a different style for Pokemon.
Yeah.
Or remember when we had like Pokemon Rumble, and like Pokemon Farm,
Token Pokemon Tournament.
Pokemon Tournament. Like, I like the variety that Pokemon has made for itself.
Yeah.
But
it's become more than a game, it's a lifestyle.
I feel like that's a good line, though.
You didn't choose your starter chose you.
Starter chose you. I feel like in some ways we've kind of like stepped away from a lot of that. I mean, because there's not a Pokemon Tournament 2.
Yeah.
There's no more of those like Pokemon Rumble games.
There was no more Gale of Darkness. Or Coliseums. Well, actually, wasn't there a Coliseum too?
No.
No?
That's you're thinking of oh my god.
It'll come back to you.
But either way, I would love for Generation 10 to be able to have the time to breathe and have maybe, almost 200 new Pokemon.
Yeah.
And not regional forms. New Pokemon. We could have regional forms. We could definitely do like a lot of regional forms.
a mega form.
But new Pokemon, some evolutions, and take some mega evolutions, whether concepts or things that happen, and just make them
evolve. Can I say it?
Go ahead.
Oh, you said it.
Sorry, go ahead.
We need a 4th level of evolution. Like, I'm a big Digimon nerd. I love Digimon. And the one thing that I think the Digimon franchise has over Pokemon is that it doesn't limit itself to 3 stages of evolution. I'm not saying Pokemon should copy and go out and do like a bajillion levels, but
4?
Yeah, it's about time for a 4th evolution.
4 would be fine. When Mega Evolution happened, I was like, yes, they're experimenting with the idea of 4 evolutions. Because, I mean, like I said, you got Charizard X and Charizard Y. Now, for me, I'm not, like, I like Charizard, but I'm not the biggest Charizard stan.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Because, and this is what was separated from Digimon. It's cool because you have 2 variants, or 2 variations, depending on what game you have.
Yep.
And in the anime or the lore, it could be depending on how you train it.
or it could be a special item that you might
Or a
use.
special item.
So to me, and it gives
Flame orb or dark flame orb.
actually even better. You could take some items that aren't used as much, like a metal coat, and be like, oh, if I give this to this Pokemon, it'll evolve into, this Pokemon. Or let's have this crystal item, give it to Onyx. Now
Your Pokemon can terrestrialize.
or it becomes like a crystallized Onyx, like a crystal Onyx. Stuff like that. I think that things of that nature would help Pokemon grow and become more diversified.
Yeah, because right now it's literally the same game that they put out since Red and Green, with a different skin, updated graphics, and different Pokemon. Like,
And true enough, we're going to talk about this now. Pokemon has definitely changed up how they've handled their formula. They've handled the formula of, in generations 1 through maybe 1 through 6. Yes, 1 through 6. It was standard formula. There's an evil team, so like for Pokemon, like for Red, Red, Blue, and Red, Green, Blue, and Yellow is Team Rocket. The Sinnoh games is Team Rocket.
Gold, it was Team Rocket.
Yes, not the Sinnoh games. Sorry, the Hoenn games is Team Rocket. The Sinnoh games is Team.
Was it Team Rocket in the Hoenn games?
No, it was Team Magma. And Team
Yeah, I was about to say, no.
Yeah, I messed up on that. That was me.
But like the first 4 games, like
no,
Red, Blue, Green, Crystal,
Red, Blue, Green,
Crystal, Yellow, Gold, and Silver, and Crystal.
They're all Team Rocket.
Yeah.
And then Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, that's Team Aqua, Team Magma.
Yep.
Then for Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, it's Team Galactic.
Yep.
Then Black and White, and Black and White 2, it's Team Plasma.
Yeah.
And then for X and Y, it's Team Flare.
Yep.
It's not until we got to the Alolan region that the evil team dynamic changed, where it was the 8th Year Foundation, which was the evil team of the game, and the supposed evil team of the game, Team Skull, they were just a bunch of like misfits.
Yeah.
Not to mention, in that game, they changed the formula of, challenging 8 gyms to doing a bunch of trials.
Still not the biggest fan of that, but it makes it slightly more interesting.
So, yeah.
You forgot one thing. Don't look at me like that. Look at me like I offended your knowledge.
No, I was actually genuinely curious.
No, I'm joking. When we got to Gen 7, 8, Sword and Shield. 8. Gen 8. Sorry everyone, I'm terrible with the generations. I know them by game name. But Gen 8, where we all got played, because we all thought Team Yell was the evil team.
Oh, I wasn't even going to mention that because I was kind of going through like all the generations that were all the same.
Yeah.
And then the cutoff was 7. Then we get to 8 where they kind of like, we get the gyms back, but then we have gym challenges. So the gyms become more expansive. There's actually more to do in the gyms. And then, like you said, the supposed evil team is not even an evil team. It's just a team of people who
A
support
team of Charizard stands.
a team of Marina stands.
Yo, I'm sorry, Marina stands. They should have gave her a Charizard.
Oh my god.
Yo, could you imagine?
Lord
She had a
Jesus.
Charizard Black, and everybody would have thought, "Oh man, it's Dark type," and it's like, no, it's Fire Dragon.
Well, it's that would have been hilarious. I would have loved that. I would have very much loved that. I think she would have gone up in the list of people who people like a lot, because there are a lot of people who like.
I'm sorry, she doesn't get to have her attitude because she's no Gary Oak and she's no Paul. Those two, especially Gary,
Gary's next.
but rightfully so. He's like the best trainer in the world next to Cynthia.
That's debatable, but yeah, I can see where you're coming from. I mean, he definitely had like
When it
more
comes to
than-
Ash,
he definitely had like 18 badges.
Yeah. all right. Since you're talking about all the changes, what's your favorite generation?
4.
Really?
Yeah.
Diamond and Pearl?
Yeah, I love
Ah.
I love Generation 3. So like it's hard for me because Generation 3 and Generation 4 are like right here together, because Generation 3 introduced new like mechanics, new lore,
New sprites.
new sprites.
And it was truly a strong leap forward, because you went from the Game Boy Advance SP and the Game Boy Advance to the Nintendo DS and DS Lite.
And like the reason why I say 4 is because that's when we got the physical and special split, and that's what opened up the game. Because back in the day, it was, certain types did certain, damage. So if it was fire, it was special. If it was fighting, it was physical. And like, that's kind of, like, okay, whatever. But certain moves were
Like Psychic.
were
Or like Psychic Punch.
yeah. It's like, okay, this is like clearly a, like you said, Psychic Punch, but Psychic in those games was a special attack.
Yeah.
So,
Or Shadow Punch.
Yeah.
Or Shadow Claw.
Those moves were physical, but those types are special.
Exactly.
So the Pokemon that you're using, and those moves might be powerful, like they might have like 80, 90 power, but for the Pokemon, it's terrible to use because they're not getting the best benefit from that.
Exactly.
And for when Generation 4 came out and they split that, it made it more obvious. Okay, well, I want to have a special type, Metapod. What I have to do that.
Exactly. You could actually start building your Pokemon to fit your battling style.
Yeah.
And it made it a little bit simpler for people like me to understand the difference between, I don't know, Water Gun and Aqua Tail.
Yeah.
Because it's like, before, they were both, like, special.
Right.
Because you were using water as the attacking thing.
And that was considered special in those games.
Yeah. But now it's like Water Gun, special type, Aqua Tail, physical. Because you're physically hitting them.
Right.
And it makes more sense.
That's why I love Generation 4. Well, it's one of the reasons why I love Generation 4. The other reason I love Generation 4 is all the Pokemon that...
The Pokemon.
The Pokemon.
The absolute units.
Absolute Alvin has made an appearance.
Absolute Alvin is made an appearance. Sorry guys, you gotta check out the the YouTube channel for that one. Like not Nerd Guys. You gotta check out
Jamie Shadow 9 on YouTube for all the Pokemon Scarlet videos. But I love Empoleon. The first time I saw Empoleon,
yes.
I was like, this is my Pokemon. I don't care about nothing else. Nobody can tell me nothing different. I love this Pokemon.
I was almost there until I met Infernape.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who I grew up with that love Infernape. And trust me, I like Infernape too. However,
It's no Blaziken.
yes, and that was my thing. Everybody's like, oh my god, Infernape's the best. I was like, no, Blaziken had it first. Blaziken has a special move, Blaze Kick, and has Sky Uppercut. You can't talk me.
And can learn Brave Bird.
Oh, you know what's even funnier about that? Blaziken can learn Fire Punch and the moves I said, but out of all those moves, Infernape can only learn Fire Punch at the time. I don't think that they...
And its signature move was Close Combat, which kind of sucked.
Which other Pokemon, like the Raptor,
Exactly.
could learn.
Yep. But you had Empoleon, and admittedly enough, I had to get a little older before I came around to Torterra. But Empoleon, who while didn't have enough Steel type moves,
Still doesn't, I don't think. I think they gave him some more, but I didn't think he still has enough.
but he was actually able to do heavy damage.
Yeah.
My Empoleon knew Hydro Cannon, and while I know it's the Elemental Hyper Beam, it's a damn good move.
Listen, I have nothing against the high elements of Hyper Beams, because if you're playing against the computer, it's a free switch. You hit the opponent hard enough, it knocks it out. You're like, oh, do you want to switch? Hell yeah, of course I want to switch. You think this is?
Exactly.
But for me, I do find more utility in moves like Surf and Hydro.
And Waterfall, and admittedly enough,
Oh yeah, I've become more of a follower of Waterfall as of late, because Waterfall on certain Pokemon is deadly.
just like Rock Climb.
Oh god. I remember I was actually one of the people who loved Rock Climb back then. Because I was like, this move actually slaps a little bit.
It's giving.
Just a little bit.
It's giving crit attack energy.
I know what we should name this episode now. Oh man.
It's giving Pokemon Master.
Oh man.
So, you wanna know what my favorite generation is?
Yeah.
Okay. Gen 3.
Yeah. I mean, that's why we're best friends, isn't it?
Exactly. Like, to me, Gen 3 and Gen 4 are the same generation.
That's why I said, like, they're, like, right here. Because Generation 3 started, like, having certain mechanics in it. And then they just were like, they took the mechanic from Generation 3 and were like, boop! And Generation 4 made them better. Plus, they, like, with the villains, like, I love Archie and Maxie, and I love Cyrus. I love Archie and Maxie because both of them are basically like, oh, we want to, Maxie's like, oh, I want to expand the land so people can have more places to live. And Archie's like, oh, I want to expand the seas for the Pokemon. They're basically both doing the same thing, just at different angles. I love that. And for Cyrus, his whole thing was like, the world never got him. The world never understood him. So he wanted to make a world that did. And I found that to be interesting for a Pokemon villain, because for Team Rocket, Giovanni is just a thug. He's just a criminal. He's just a crime boss. He doesn't care about that stuff.
He said, "Give me the Pokemon so I could sell them to the highest bidder to make money."
Yeah.
Which is why Persian's his go-to Pokemon or his signature Pokemon.
And don't get me wrong, there's no disrespect to him because I also like Giovanni. I like the way he handles Team Rocket and the fact that he's a businessman in the Pokemon world.
Question:
Go ahead.
Do you believe that's your dad in the game?
No. That's Paul's father.
From Sinnoh?
Yeah, Paul's dad.
Giovanni.
Yeah, Paul's dad. Redhead? The redhead kid? The redhead guy? Paul's dad.
We're talking about two different people.
So, okay, hold on, let me explain. So you remember the rival from Sinnoh? Redhead kid?
I do not, because the Paul that I'm thinking of is Paul from the show. Gray hair.
Oh, wrong person. Yeah, we are talking about different. So there's a redhead guy.
Hold on. Okay, keep going.
I think he's. Did they call him Silver? I forget. Maybe. It's been a while.
Bulbapedia is giving me berry. It's giving berry. For Sinnoh.
But no, I'm Hoenn. Not Hoenn, Johto.
Okay. So the Johto.
Yeah.
Oh god, it's been so long. The last time I played Johto was Heart Gold, Soul Silver, which was a long time ago.
The best game, one of the best games. Just saying.
Yes, I remember him.
That it was, I think, said or mentioned, or maybe it is confirmed. I'm not sure, but Giovanni is to be his father.
Okay, I can see that. Gold is the best Pokemon trainer, hands down, bar none.
I was saying when Johto started for the anime that Gold should have been the protagonist.
Do you remember the mini-series that they did?
Yes.
With Gold as the protagonist?
Yes, that's why I said that.
I got so excited because I thought that he was going to be the new protagonist, and then they just dropped it.
Yep.
His Cyndaquil, bruh.
His Cyndaquil is so OP. And then he gets even more OP as a Typhlosion. And it's funny, I got having my Typhlosion with Earthquake from him.
Exactly. Earthquake, Smokescreen, Flame Wheel. All from Gold.
So mine's is now Earthquake, Rock, Earthquake, Rollout, Eruption, and Flamethrower.
And don't get me wrong, I like the starters from the Hisui region, but the game probably shouldn't have been made. That's my hot take.
Alright, so I like Legends Arceus, but I will say this, standing here, I want people to stop looking at Legends Arceus and saying that it's better than Scarlet and Violet. Please stop.
It's a completely different game. Well, not completely different, but different. It's not your average. It's not your traditional game. It's more of like Legend of Zelda meets Pokemon.
Not only that, Legends Arceus has loading screens.
That too. That was so annoying.
Like, you cannot compare an open world game that has no loading screens to a kind of like sandbox type game that does have loading screens. It's two different beasts. Because while Legend Arceus can load up everything and everything looks all nice and pretty, Scarlet and Violet, they're just going off of the hardware. What was coded into the game. When these things are gonna pop up, they're gonna pop up, whatever. I always say that learn more about Arceus. Although that then became, the whole Almighty Sinnoh situation.
Yeah.
I love the fact that we did that, but the Hisuian region just kind of made me think, like, man, if this was the 1.5 to our 2.5 of Scarlet and Violet, what's going to be the 3.0?
Mm-hmm. And like, that's what's getting me excited, because Scarlet and Violet is a great game, but it's limited by the hardware.
Yeah.
It's a great software, but it's limited by the hardware.
Yeah.
Imagine when the software and the hardware meet.
Yeah.
Like, all right, now to segue into our final thoughts.
Oh.
What's your favorite generation of Pokemon? Of all 9 generations, what's your favorite? 4? 3. Cool. Well, with that, you're ready to bid them a bond farewell. Until next time.
Yeah. We'll have another episode of talking about Pokemon.
Yes.
Because there's merchandise. There's the trading card game. There's talking about the games individually.
Yeah, we haven't even scratched the surface.
No, we have way more to go.
And I promise, it's already been said, when I go to Japan in December, we want to go to the Pokemon Center. I know you won't be there. Sad face.
So sad.
Well, I should say when I maybe go to Japan, because I don't even have a passport yet. So maybe if I go, I hope I get to go. But we're going to try to do the Pokemon Center.
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely going to play some Pokemon Go. I'll make sure I have my auto catcher there.
See?
I'll catch some stuff so I can trade with you. And I'll make sure I get you something from the Pokemon Center. But I guess with all that, we both earned a gym badge today.
We did.
I learned some stuff.
I also looked at some stuff. The next episode of the podcast will be fun. I'm not going to allude to anything, but the next episode should be fun. So make sure you check out all the socials and support your boys and your guys
We want to go to Japan
together
together
and make more content for you.
and make more content.
We could even have. Oh no, I ain't saying it. I ain't saying it.
Anyway, we here with it. Anyway,
just know that it will be fantastic if it does happen.
we had fun with you all this time. Thanks for tuning in.
We shall see you next time.
Peace.